Well, howdy there. Hi. Welcome back to Life Gave Us Material. Today we're going to be unpacking some deep stuff. What are we going to be unpacking today?
How we handle the refining moments of life.
You clap a lot.
You ain't kidding. I don't know what is with me in these patties of mine, but for whatever reason, I'm like, I feel the need to do this number.
Here, hold this.
I was actually doing that the last one. I was like,
there you go. Hey, cook, sit down.
All right. I don't need to be doing something. That is a fun fact about me. I, for whatever reason, don't like to keep my hands still. I like when I'm like watching a show or something, I always want to be doing something.
Yeah, like crocheting,
knitting. Oh, fun fact. You crochet beautifully. I think we lightly touched on that in the first episode that you were crocheted. This girl, she can crochet anything. You can give her an idea.
You can put your order in the comments below.
Yeah, and it will be worth every penny. And then I crochet, but I also love to knit. I think knitting's more my favorite.
Knits very beautifully.
I love to knit socks. Mm-hmm. If you ever get a pair of socks from me, I love you.
Yeah, she still hasn't finished the socks that she started for me 2 years ago.
Or my mother. Oh, I forgot about that.
She said she was going to send them for me for my birthday. That was in February. It's okay. Life happens. So today, I guess I'll start.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to start with sharing my most recent loss, which I'm in the middle of right now. So actually, I found out that I was pregnant roughly 3 years after my first loss, and I was super excited. Like, this was going to be it. This is going to be our rainbow baby. I put the dates in pregnancy app and I named it our rainbow baby. And this baby I named Mercy. I want to say she. I feel like
I want to say she for all your babies.
Yeah.
It's always in my brain that it's 3 girls for whatever reason.
Like Promise was a boy.
Yeah.
And then Patience and Mercy were girls. I don't know why. But
I always just feel like it's girls. Like she had girls.
Yeah. So, baby Mercy was due January 7th. And so I thought that would be great. Like 3 years after my first loss, I was pregnant. Yeah. But through roller coaster of things, it was thought that maybe it was the topic.
It was so hard because watching you, like when we found out that, it was so exciting. I remember where I was when she told me, because it wasn't that long ago. I hope I remember.
I literally could not get a hold of you. She wasn't responding to my text messages.
Which is it's not like me at all.
I had to text Albert.
My husband.
Yeah.
Where's Taylor?
Tell Taylor to call me.
Tell her to call me. And so I remember I had my little nephew in the back seat. I was driving and I'm like freaking out, excited, and she wasn't sure. You were still kind of like, I don't know. And I'm like, no, you're pregnant. I know you are. You're pregnant. And I was like, I think this one's going to be sticky. And she was more hesitant for obvious reasons. But it was still like, this is going to be it.
Yeah.
We're going to have hope that this is it. We were so excited.
Yeah. But it turned out that it's not a lot. I mean, it is a loss. And it has taken my body, I would say almost 6 weeks from when it stopped growing for my body to realize that
you're not pregnant anymore.
Yeah.
Or that it's
the baby wasn't viable anymore. And so I think that has also been really hard because it's like I know it in my head that it's not progressing, but then my body's saying it is.
There's still that hope.
Yeah.
It's like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a bad dream I can't get out of, and I'll just wake up at some point.
Yeah. And so with this third time, for a while actually, I've had the name in my mind, Mercy, and that my next baby's name would be Mercy. And so when I found out this one was going to be a loss, I was like, it's mercy. And at the time, we were actually finishing the book of Habakkuk.
Yeah.
And
which the theme of that was even if.
Yeah. So we started that even before I knew I was pregnant. Even if. And so Cookie's shaking because she sees a squirrel. For us, hair in my mouth, we ventured on that study with the idea that even if things don't turn out in our life how we wanted them to, God was still faithful.
Yeah.
He still had mercy for us. And so the morning of or the morning after I found out it was a loss, when I opened the devotional and the title was Remember Mercy.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing in the devotional, hey, it's okay, Cookie. The crazy thing is that the Hebrew word mercy is closely related to the Hebrew word of womb. And when I read that, I just started crying. It was like God met me and was like, he gave me the name Mercy because he's going to remember me.
But it doesn't stop there, folks. It gets even better.
What happens next?
The church.
Oh, wow. This is epic. Okay, so going back a little bit, I had to get labs drawn. I ordered labs and had them drawn. And I think at this point, I think it was the second draw. At this point, the results came back and they weren't where I would like to see them for a viable pregnancy, for where I should be.
There was still the slightest amount of hope, but it was very much trending a
not
loss.
good.
Yeah.
So I went in to get the second round of labs drawn, and I kind of went in with a prayer. And I feel like every loss draws me closer to God and seeing him in a clearer light, even though it's devastating. And so I'm walking out of the hospital. As soon as I walk out, those automated doors open up, and it was literally like, as soon as I walked through those doors, God came down from heaven and from the right side of me just gave me a hug. And I remember walking to my car and just feeling like he was holding me, and knowing that I already knew that it wasn't going to be a viable pregnancy. I just knew in my heart. But I also knew that God saw me and that he was holding me.
And I remember when you texted me that. And that was an answered prayer, because I had been praying for you that God would reach down in a personal, like, I would say palpable way to give you comfort. And he did.
Yeah, it was one of those moments that if I could really describe in words, I would. But there's no way to describe that feeling of being held by God. And knowing that my deepest desires was not going to come to reality, and still being held by God and be seen by him. And so thankful. So my husband is gone at weeks on end for his job. He's a merchant marine, and so engineer, whatever. I don't need to tell you about that. So anyways, he was gone at this time. I was super excited when I found out. I video called him, I showed him, and I just automatically started saying, when you come home, I'm gonna be, like 12 weeks along, and I'll probably have like a little belly bump. And we were already planning like when I was gonna have our baby shower. So to have all that go away, so it was at the point where we knew it was going to be a loss, and I just really needed to see my husband because he was away. Thankfully, the weekend that it was definitely like it's going to be a loss, I was able to drive to Pennsylvania, since he was going to be in port for a couple days, and it was really good to be able to see to see him. I felt like all my grief went away for just a short period of time, just being with my husband. Anyways, that Sunday I was in Pennsylvania. This is crazy. I remember, so it was that morning that it was the morning before. I think it was Saturday morning I did the study, Remember Mercy. And then Sunday I did another one, the last study. But he wasn't going to be able to get off until that evening.
To the end time.
Yeah, so I decided to go to Sprouts Market, do some shopping to pass the time. So anyways, I was like 5 minutes away from Sprouts Market, and I happened to look out the window to the left, and I was passing this church, and it was around 11 o'clock on Sunday, so obviously they were in church. And I see these people going into church, and they're greeting each other, and I have this thought: go to that church. And I'm just like, why would I go to that church? Like, no. So I'm going back and forth with God, and it's as if I could hear him audibly. And I'm just like, no, I don't want to go. I don't feel like it. I'm in a bad place right now, just having a hard time. I just want to go to the store, see my husband, go on with my life. And I remember something my dad had said, that every good impulse is from God. So go to church, good impulse, only can be from God, right? And I'm arguing with God, like, no, I don't want to do this. And he was like, if you don't go, you will miss out on the blessing I have for you. Like, please, go to the church. So I get up to the red light, and I'm just like, no, I don't want to go. And it was just pressing on me so deeply. I was like, okay, what do I have to lose, really? I have the whole day. So, okay. So I turn left, I go through the light, and I'm like, you know what? No. I'm 3 minutes away from Sprouts Market. I'm not going to go. And God was like, go. So I was like, fine. So I turn around in this parking lot, get back to the church. As I'm pulling in, I notice the sign, and it's in Spanish. And I was like, oh, that's why. I mean, I'm learning Spanish. This is a perfect opportunity for me to go to a Spanish speaking church. This is awesome, right? I can practice my Spanish. So I'm sitting in the parking lot, I'm watching people going in, and I'm looking up online to find the church and to kind of be like, do I really want to go in? And after a few minutes of sitting there, I'm just like, I feel good. I came back, I sat here, I think I can leave now. So
nope.
I leave. I'm just like, no, I ain't doing it. And during this time, I mean, I could have texted Taylor and been like, this is the situation, what should I do? But I did not. I didn't. I told you after the fact, didn't I?
You did?
Yeah. She was probably still sleeping anyways.
Because there's a 2-hour time difference.
Anyways, so she was probably awake. She's a responsible person. Anyways, you're probably getting ready for church.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways,
I forgot this.
So I leave. I sure did.
You did.
Yeah.
And then God made your butt turn right back around.
I didn't get very far up the road, and God's like, go to that church.
Turn around.
If you don't go, you'll miss out on the blessing that I have for you. And I was like, fine. So I turn around. Like, I wasn't very far up the road at all. I turn around in this sketchy building's parking lot, and I pull back in, and I'm just like, giving myself a pep talk. And I'm like, if God wants me to go to this church, then he's going to give me what I need to walk through those doors. I'm in a t-shirt and jeans. I'm like, I'm not dressed for church, but that doesn't matter. So I walk in, there's some guys standing on the steps. They were really friendly. They welcomed me. And I just slipped into the back pew. And long story short, I don't know how long their praise session was, but during that whole time, I was standing there like, what am I doing here?
Listening to God. That's
like, every passing minute, I was like, okay, well, maybe I've received what God had for me. You know, I came.
But as we've all learned, God's pretty clear.
Yeah. So we sit down, and thankfully, I was thankful that there was an interpreter, because while I'm learning Spanish, my Spanish is not that great. But I surprised myself.
I was gonna say, you actually understand a lot of it, though.
Yeah, I could, and I was very proud of myself to see that. Anyways, so.
But that was not the blessing God had for her.
No, that was a bonus.
That was the bonus.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
It was.
Anyways, so the preacher gets up and he asks us to open our Bibles, and
where do you think he turned?
He turned to Habakkuk.
And what was it about?
And hey, can you look it up real quick?
Yeah.
So Habakkuk chapter 3.
Okay.
I'm just gonna read it.
My internet will work.
And these Habakkuk.
Oh, right here. Here we go. 3.
Okay.
What was?
Oh, I can't see.
Woohoo.
Okay, so he read a prayer of Habakkuk the prophet according to Shiganoth. O Lord, I have heard the report of you, and your work, O Lord, do I fear. In the midst of the years revive it, in the midst of the years make it known, in wrath remember mercy. I started crying because I knew in that moment why God
and
had brought
that
me
was
there.
so specific.
Yeah, because I had just finished the book of Habakkuk a few hours prior. Mercy was the baby that the name that I named this baby, and the whole sermon was on the book of Habakkuk that Taylor and I had just finished.
Mm-hmm.
Even if our prayers do not come to pass, even if God doesn't answer how we want it to, He will have mercy, and we can praise Him.
Mm-hmm.
It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible to sit there and listen to this sermon.
And I feel like every time we've heard God speak, it's so gentle, so palpable, so personal. It's not this condemning.
Yeah,
we know who that is.
Yeah, so it was incredible, because while I knew that I was going to lose this baby, I felt like God gave me
sustaining
but
mercy.
He also gave me a testimony, Mercy's testimony, that even in gut-wrenching grief, God will have mercy and sustain.
It wasn't always that way, though, was it? With handling just all the loss. It's been a journey.
I know my first loss was pretty bad. Like, I remember going to an acupuncture appointment, and I was in a bad place, and the acupuncture she knew some of my story, and I had been going to her for a while.
She could just tell physically that you were not in a good space.
Yeah, and I remember her telling me that,
like, physically, mentally, mentally you weren't in a space, and it was showing up physically.
Yeah. So she acknowledged my my grief. She let me cry. She gave me a hug, and she very gently reminded me that I needed to take care of myself. And that was kind of like somewhat of a turning point to pick myself off the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that I got really angry, really bitter. Like anger that I've never experienced before.
Mm-hmm. And it was so hard that you were having to go through that.
Yeah, like uncontrolled anger.
That's one of the most painful things of grief, when you have that anger that just bubbles up inside and it feels so uncontrollable.
Yeah, didn't feel myself. Like I was,
and it's the last thing that you want to be, and this is what the grief is doing, and it feels like you're fighting with every ounce of who you are to just get through every day, and then to have this anger that just part of that grief. Well, the stages of grief, but it feels like the anger is what's holding.
Yeah, and the paranoia, like,
yeah.
If I could, life was in me, and now it's no longer in me. And I had no control over that. Like, the life I wanted to protect and nurture was ripped away from me. I had no control over that. How much more, like, I don't have control of keeping my husband safe, keeping my family, keeping my friends safe. And I just remember getting this fear that of loss was just imminent.
It was that impending doom for everybody that you loved.
Yeah.
And it came out in a way that was just, you were,
Yeah, it changed
I was
me.
I am so proud of her.
Not in the best way.
I am so proud of her. This girl, she has been through the Pickerton and back again. And
yeah, I
don't even have words for just, I can say I'm proud of you, but that doesn't even scratch the surface.
Yeah,
God has like the verse that says, "He who hath begun a good work in you will finish it into completion." She's the very definition of that.
Yeah. Like, the feeling of not having control over anything is
there's not really any words. I feel like I have maybe a word on the tip of my tongue, but I can't even think of it. Like, it's just,
yeah, a feeling complete.
It's the biggest
helplessness.
defeat. It feels like the biggest defeat, and you have no control over it.
Yeah. Like, the very thing we were created to do, we can't do. It's ripped from us.
And it's hard, and that's where all the why gods come in. And I think for both of us, we have gone through the stages of grief and the whys. And I know for myself, I haven't always dealt with it in the best way. Grief is hard. It's one of those things, like, when you're, okay, so there are a lot of people that be like, oh, I don't know how you handle it so well. I don't know how, I could never. And it's like, we don't have a choice, people. We didn't choose this for ourselves. Believe me. It's by God's grace.
Yeah.
It's all by His grace and His mercy. And
well, I think, like, at first with just, miscarriage, you still go through all the emotions. It's like
it alters your brain chemistry.
Yeah, with no baby.
Yeah.
Like, I remember after I lost Promise, I still felt like I had a baby that I needed to take care of. Like, I almost would hear it cry. And, like, feel like I should be taking care of a baby right now.
Yeah.
And instead I was giving a massage to one of my clients. I remember so many times that I would silently cry as I'm giving a massage. Because I didn't know how to, like, have a boundary to take time off. I felt like I just had to keep going.
That was your coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Work.
Stay more busy. I remember the week that I was losing Baby Promise, I think I took like 2 days off.
It wasn't much, I remember.
But I remember that Wednesday, I was scheduled to do phone triage at a clinic in Boone as a nurse. And I went in.
Such a hard day.
And that was really hard because, I'm answering the phone all day, doing triage, sending messages. And I think I had 3 or 4 calls of patients calling that they had just found out they were pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And my coworker was showing me pictures of her grandbaby that was just born. Mm-hmm. And I remember just in between calls crying silently.
In this very tender, raw time.
And I didn't take off the time that I needed. And I really needed to. I just pushed through. And
I think that's something that's just been
well.
I think that's something that's been so deeply ingrained in you, is coping with work and stuffing it down inside.
Yeah.
And I
didn't want to disappoint other people or inconvenience them. I needed to keep my schedule, show up, be there, even when
you were falling
I was
apart.
so numb.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
And that's the thing that I've like through. I feel like with every loss, there has been a shift in you in a more positive way of trying to heal, if that makes sense. Like with this one.
Yeah, I remember, like, I've always, I guess people had said that I had road rage, but I've never
I think everybody has a little road rage.
Yeah, I never experienced road rage like I did
Yeah.
after the first loss, and just not being able to handle the smallest of inconveniences.
Well, it was the sheer frustration of other humanity.
But I think the wreck too of hormones. My body just completely flipped out.
If y'all have never had hormone issues, which I'm sure some of you watching have, if you ever see commercials or other people that talk about hormones, they're like, oh, it's no joke. Listen to them. And be kind to people who are going through hormone issues. Like if you know anything like of somebody that you love that has let you in on that they're struggling with their hormones to any degree, please be gentle with them. They feel like they are stuck in a body that they can't control. It's like trying to run away from yourself and you can't.
Yeah, I know for me that I needed to be with my husband more. I needed to talk to him every day when I wasn't with him. I needed to...
He was your safe space.
Yeah. And I also noticed that I had more like OCD tendencies. I needed a schedule every day to feel safe.
Yeah. You needed the predictability because your world had suddenly become this grievous mess of unpredictability that you couldn't control.
Yeah. I also became this person I never was before. I was always quiet, reserved, nice. And I noticed I would just hear myself say stupid stuff. And I realized...
It was almost as if all the stuff that you had stuffed deep down inside, it finally was starting to come out in a way that you didn't necessarily want it to, but it was like everything had reached an apex.
Yeah, it was like this person was living in me that I didn't even recognize.
Yeah.
It wasn't who I was. It's not who I wanted to be. I would snap at people in the grocery store, say mean things to them, and it's like, that's not who I am. You know, I'm like, excuse me, I'm sorry I'm in your way, you know, let you by, not nasty. And I think there was a lot of people that didn't understand that. And
they didn't understand that suddenly you had almost a lack of grace for the rest of the world.
Yeah,
but at the same time, like, you were suffering. You were in agony. And honestly, anybody that didn't give you grace that time, or any time for that matter.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, there has to be so much grace for that and so much love for that, because is it hard to be around somebody that is going through significant loss? Yeah.
Especially when you're going through stuff yourself.
Yeah.
It's hard to...
Yeah. But try. And if you're struggling, to try some more. Maybe those aren't the right words, but it's... Don't mistreat somebody... Hello. Are you trying to shut my mouth? Oh, Cookie. You're a good girl. Be gentle and loving. The definition, I feel like, of love, and and you learn who loves you the most and is in it for the long haul, are the people that show up in the trenches when you are hurting, or when they see that you're drowning and they hold your head above water. Which, when they're doing that, it means that their head is under the water. It's a sacrifice.
Yeah.
But it is I don't even have words. Like, I've had people that do that for me. You've done that for me. And it...
Yeah. I noticed, I read a book was it earlier this year? I hope she doesn't knock that over.
Cookie, come here, Cookie. Come here, girl. Come here.
Yeah.
Good girl.
I read a book, Untangle Your Emotions, and she was talking in there. That is an excellent book.
I really like Jenny Ellen. She's a really good author.
Excellent. And so it was really good to read that book, because in this past year I've been trying to really understand my grief and heal in a healthy way. And just process a lot of things. And so
that doesn't mean that there still aren't days where you wake up and you're like, what the hell? And you're just like, I'm going to go scream into my pillow. Yeah. And I am going to cancel plans for today because I just need a big fat moment.
Yeah. So in this book, she was talking about like dealing with trauma and like trauma response and grief through life changes and loss. And it was really eye-opening to see that the way I responded to these major losses was kind of out of my control in a way. It was just how a person responds.
It was classic.
Yeah. And I noticed that she talked about having to call your husband to get reassurance. And I noticed that that's something I had to do. OCD tendencies. I definitely had that. And just being really angry. Another one is acting in ways you don't typically do. Like, I realized that my response to say stupid stuff and to I couldn't sit with silence with people. I always had to talk. And so sometimes I would say stupid stuff, unkind things. And
which was completely the opposite of who you were.
Yeah, and I think
it was the grief talking
that threw people that were close to me.
Yeah.
And I realized that what I was trying to do was hide the grief, to not deal with the pain, to not deal with it. And so I was stuffing it. And in doing that, I had to keep a distraction because at any given moment, if I didn't
come out in a very explosive way,
I would break.
Yeah.
So I didn't always respond in a healthy way. But I'm thankful that we started the devotions together because
that seemed to be a real pivotal point in your healing journey.
Because I could see who God is in a clear way and how he can come close to us and then he can give us healing. So with this loss, I decided to take temporary medical leave. And I think that thanks to this lovely lady here and my dear husband who really, really encouraged me that I needed to do that, because the last two losses I did not. And
Cookie. Sorry, I think she saw a squirrel and she took off like a banshee. Cookie. Do you want to roll out of the frame or you want me to?
You can. I'll continue talking. So, after this loss, I decided to take a temporary medical leave, and thankfully, my mom and we have our own practice, and so I was able to do that, and it has been really, really good. And I think it also has helped me process the grief and the previous two, because with a sequential loss, I'm not only grieving the current loss, but all the emotions and feelings and trauma comes up from previous losses. And so it's like I am processing and grieving the other losses all over again. And so I just want to encourage you, like, if you're going through a loss, good girl. If you're going through a loss and you don't feel like you entitled is the wrong word, but
all right, so you may notice we're in a different environment now, and it looks like this is edited. we promised not to edit, but we had to do this kind of ending because her phone died.
So it's a shame.
So we're doing this the next day. We kind of know where it cut out and what her thought was.
We probably lost like 12 minutes.
Yeah.
It's okay. So we're just gonna wrap this episode up by just I'm gonna finish my sentence because I know it ended
How it was.
mid-thought.
Yep.
And so what I was trying to say, that if you're in a position that you feel like you need to take time off from work, kind of remove yourself from situations, that is totally okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really needed. And it's really important. So I encourage you to do that.
Yeah.
To take that
It
time.
comes from that, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Absolutely.
And if you're going through a massive trauma, or you have like traumas stacked, that just compounds everything. And so, like she said, if you're able to take off of work, if you're able to make the space, do so. Your body will thank you. Because cortisol, people. Cortisol.
Yeah.
So, what's something you're grateful for?
I am very thankful. I'm going to say what I was thankful for yesterday.
Which it was comical because we had the exact same thought, the exact same thing.
Yes. I'm very thankful for my husband. I've been really blessed with an amazing husband.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just been so incredible to see God's love poured out to me through my husband. His unconditional love no matter what. And it's just brought me so much beauty into my life and made me so happy.
Yeah. And coming up of her thought is, I'm grateful for my husband. And honey, if you're watching this, you're the MVP. Wow, that came out really low. You the MVP. And you know it. But I wanted to give you the shout out. Yeah. I got some MVPs in my life, but he sits at the real top.
Yes.
Yeah. You're amazing. I love you. So, stay tuned for the next episode 4. I'm excited to see y'all there.
Okay. Thanks for watching.